Today we're looking at the NX-3200 radio. This is a VHF digital transceiver and it's part of the NX-3000 series, answering the needs of every profession. From enterprise to operation critical applications, the NX-3000 series will shine in a host of different business categories. In addition to the great convenience and afforded by a host of powerful features, optional software upgrades facilitate after-purchase enhancements to create a radio that is perfectly matched to specific customer requirements. And thanks to the NX-3000 support for multiple protocols, it can be seamlessly integrated into an existing system, where it will instantly become an indispensable communications asset. We're going to open the NX-3200 and take a look at what you get, along with some of the accessories that you buy along with the radio at time of purchase. So let's take a look at what we get in the box of this NX-3200 VHF digital transceiver. Comes with documentation. It's quite good documentation. I won't go into great depths here, but it covers everything that you might need to get this thing off the ground. You get the radio itself, as you see, very well packed. You get a belt clip, we'll take a look at that in a moment, and you get other small attachments. Now this is what you get in the box. You get the main radio, no battery note. You get the belt clip, very sturdy, and you get this this little pack. I'm not going to open it, but this is for blanking off this section of the radio if you're not going to be putting something on it immediately. So I just want to quickly cover the other accessories that you might need, well, you'll definitely need with this radio to get it off the ground and running. You're going to need an antenna. This one is designed for the job. You'll also need a battery. This is KNB55L. It's a lithium-ion battery pack, and this is compatible with the radio, although there are a number of battery packs. And this is a charger. Now I'm not going to have the charger running, I just want to show you what you get. Inside, once again, you get the documentation. It's all pretty good. We get the charger itself, we get a mains lead, and we get the actual physical power supply under this cover. So now we've got all the important components that we're going to want to put together into a radio, and it's a very simple matter to do that. The battery will clip on from above and just snap into place, like so. The antenna simply screws on, and this will fasten on the back with two provided screws, which I'm not going to fit. I just wanted to show you how that goes. So this NX radio, or the NX series in fact, is available with three different keypads. You've got a standard full keypad with all the keys, 1 to 9 and all the rest. You've got this standard keypad, which is the smaller type, and you've got a basic 3000 series that doesn't really have a keypad on the front, and no display either. Now the thing to note about these radios is you can get them in a UHF version as well as a VHF version, and you can also get them in two modes apart from the keyboard here. You can have it in a multi-pin connection like this, or you can actually have it just in a 2-pin connector, more like a regular radio. We've got this one on demonstration with the multi-pin connector. It's 14 pins. As well as that, we've got the on and off and volume here, and we've got a channel selector here. All nice and easy. And this LED on the front is actually, that's 7 colours. It's a light bar indicator in reality, so each channel can be assigned a different colour from the 7 available. 7 colours, that is. On this side of the radio we've got the usual PTT button, and we've got an emergency button up here. So the radio is suitable if you want it to be for sort of man-down type of emergencies and things like that. Now this radio's come out of the box. It's not actually programmed. If I turn it on, you'll see what I mean. It says on program on it. And that's simply because it's just a demonstration. I'm not really wanting to spend time on going through menus and things like that. It's a very robust radio. It's chunky in the hand. I'd describe it as that. But in reality, it's got a really decent battery once again. And more about batteries later. Its clip is, well, robust to say the least. It's well made, very well made. It feels like a quality product. You know, some of the cheaper radios that you see around wouldn't compare with this radio. So although Kenwood tends to be a little bit more expensive than some of the brands out there, I think you do get what you pay for, really. So let's quickly discuss the multi-protocol support of this series. The NX-3000 series are future-proofed with flexibility with support for both NXDN and DMR digital protocols, as well as FM analog, all in one single radio. A desired digital protocol can be selected at will, giving you the freedom to migrate to digital or expand your digital environment further at your own pace. Also, it offers a unique capability to add or delete functions at will. It has the NXDN digital protocol on board. Along with narrow 12.5 kHz support, NXDN employs the very narrow 6.25 kHz bandwidth using a thing called FDMA technology. NXDN provides excellent spectrum efficiency, wide coverage and scalability. NXDN Type C trunking and Gen 2 trunking offer flexibility and performance, including the ability to link up to 1,000 sites. Believe that or not, 1,000 sites. But of course everybody doesn't always want that, do they? This particular radio also supports the DMR digital protocol. If you're looking for a very small, simple, cost-effective system, DMR is a fine choice. And thanks to 2-slot TDMA, the DMR can obtain 2 toolpaths within 12.5 kHz bandwidth, effectively doubling the capacity for a single license and or repeater. For larger networks, the DMR Tier 3 trunking and DMR-S trunking configurations provide the ideal solution. There's a lot to like. And lastly on this radio, we've got FM analog, our old friend. FM analog protocol is offered in 25 kHz and narrow 12.5 kHz channel spacing. Conventional and LTR systems are available with QT/DQT, DTMF, 2-tone and 5-tone, MDC 1200 and fleet sync signaling. Some limitations apply in certain regions where configuring wide channel spacing and signaling availability varies depending on the region. Now, one of the things that most people want is to be able to hear clearly and confidently. This radio supports active noise reduction, or ANR for short. Kenwood's ANR can discriminate between voice and noise. It makes full use of DSP, or digital signal processing, to eliminate ambient noise so that the caller appears to be talking in a noiseless environment. Even more advanced digital noise reduction is offered by Kenwood microphones, such as the optional speaker microphone KMC54WD with its dual mic system that is designed to work with portable models featuring the 14-pin universal connector as shown on this side here. You can customize audio processing by adjusting the TX-RX audio equalizer, auto gain control and audio profile in ANR. Noise reduction can set to switch off automatically when the background noise level is sufficiently low that it doesn't bother the communications between whoever you're speaking to. This low noise level adjustment function ensures there will be no deterioration in audio quality in such a situation. Sometimes it's really critical that you hear clear audio. Believe it or not, this radio has auto recording. When you're receiving a call while you're doing something else, there is also a chance you could miss a name, number or other key information about that call. In such cases, auto recording is handy as it records and plays back past conversations that you might have missed. And there's another feature called knowing without looking. Well, at least that's what I call it. Voice announcements will keep you informed of the new number or of a changed zone or channel, function status and transceiver status when the PF button is pressed, as well as reception status. Announcements are made in any one of 11 languages, so you multi-language support. It's configured on the subscriber unit. Also, among several user programmable functions is the ability to pre-record any phrase and add it to the built-in voice announcement library for guidance. Voice guidance includes zone or channel name, button function on or off, status, transceiver status and other phrases registered with the status list. It's a very comprehensive radio, of that there's no doubt. Now there's also far more to this radio than we can even include in this simple video. But one of those things relates to location notification and hands-free operation. So let's consider the integrated GPS for location management. Thanks to the integrated GPS receiver and antenna, the current location of the radio can be sent to a recipient. Position data enables effective management when used with applications like KAS-20 AVL and dispatch software. GPS data required at set time intervals can be stored in the radio's memory. There's also Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a means of wireless transfer of audio and data between two Bluetooth compatible devices. The NX-3000 series supports Bluetooth headset profile, or HSP, which can be used to pair the radio and a Bluetooth compatible handset to initiate a voice call using the mic of the headset. What's more, the radio is also compatible with Bluetooth serial port profile, or SPP as some people call it, to enable communication with peripheral devices for various applications. The NX-3000 series enables sending and receiving text messages when using either digital protocol. These can be simple canned status messages, confirming receipt, etc., something like that, or short text messages, ideal for relaying addresses and phone numbers. FM analog can also be used. There's over-the-air programming, or OTAP, and over-the-air alias, or OAA. OTAP allows simultaneous writing of configuration data subscriber units in NXDN mode using wireless communications, which is updated remotely from a base station. Exclusive to NXDN system, this convenient function can be performed by installing OTAP manager software, that's KPG-180AP, to a PC. That transfers the configuration of the base station transceiver to distribute the data. OAA is another convenient feature only available in the NXDN trunking system that displays the caller ID name on the radio display even if the ID is not configured for display. This feature is especially handy when you are roaming on a system and new subscriber units from the system in service are temporarily added. Now all good radios, and this is no exception, have usually really good security features. You can safeguard staff and secure the radio, no problem with the features that are involved in this unit. You can maintain confidentiality, for example. Hearing clearly is essential, but you don't want your conversation to be heard by other people really, especially if you're in security. Kenwood offers optional 56-bit DES encryption, advanced 256-bit AES encryption for both digital protocols and 40-bit ARC4 encryption for DMR. All Kenwood radios go through the stringent tests before shipment, including the drop tests, immersion tests, splash tests, key punch, extreme temperature, dust and heavy rain to simulate the harshest operating conditions experienced in a variety of applications. The portable radios also meet international ingress protection standards including IP54, IP55 and IP67. The mobile radios feature IP54 protection. Also, all radios meet the military standard 810 C2G standards set by the US Department of Defense. Now, an important area of any two-way radio these days relates to detecting the status of remote workers. When you have staff working alone or in remote locations, it can be very important to know how they are doing. In fact, it's a legal requirement, especially if they're lone workers. The NX-3000 series features a set of functions that help to protect the safety of all workers. Emergency button. Prominent orange button on the portable radios can be used by a worker to signal an emergency to the base station. This function can be assigned to other buttons, including the speaker microphone's PF button for portables and the auxiliary button for both portables and mobiles. It also supports lone workers. If a radio is set to lone worker mode and not operated for a set period of time, a 2-beep tone is emitted to alert the user. If the radio is still not operated, then it automatically triggers emergency mode to notify the base station. It's a very common practice these days for radios, and there's no exception with this radio. It's got all the features. There's another thing called an activity detection too. 3 functions will trigger an emergency mode to notify headquarters or the base station. Man down detection when the radio tilts to one side. Stationary detection when the radio is left stationary for a length of time. And motion detection, which detects abnormal shaking for a prolonged period. It's all covered. Now, if you're someone who's involved in trunking, there are trunking systems compatible with the NX-3000 series radios. Conventional NXDN DMR digital convention, no trunking, single site. There's a conventional IP network where NXDN/DMR digital conventional IP roaming, site roaming that is. Again, there's no trunking, but it's up to 16 unicast or 48 multicast sites. There's a multi-site DMR-S trunking, which is DMR-S. There's more capacity and coverage than what we've already described, and you can include small trunking networks up to 15 sites. There's a multi-site trunking, which is an NXDN Type C, and that has more capacity and more coverage than what we've just discussed under DMR-S. It decentralized controlled trunking for up to 48 sites. And there's also a multi-site DMR Tier 3 trunking, and it has most capacity, coverage and control. It's for large trunking networks up to 1,000 sites, massive networks. And then there's even an enhanced multi-site trunking facility, which is NXDN Generation 2. This has got, again, most capacity, coverage and control. It's centralized control with server-based architecture, and again, up to 1,000 sites. These radios are designed to go with all sizes and shapes. Capability to operate in digital protocol allows extending your channel capacity. In fact, quite dramatically in some cases. The NX-3000 radios are designed to fit in different systems, from shopping malls or hospitality settings using conventional digital systems in NXDN or DMR, to wider multi-site trunking systems using IP networking such as NXDN Type C, Gen 2, DMR-S and DMR Tier 3 that extend across a campus or plant. Now, I do want to talk about batteries just for a few moments. This is a KNB 55L. They make a 55L and a 57L. They're lithium-ion battery packs. They operate at basically 7.4 volts or 1480 milliampere per hour for the KNB 55L and 7.4 volts for 2000 milliampere per hour for the 57L. So you can get some longevity out of the charge on the battery. There are other batteries too, such as the KNB 56N, which is a 9mAh battery. That's 7.2 volts at 1400 milliamperes per hour. And there's a KNB 78L, which again is a lithium-ion battery pack, 7.4 volts, but it's 2860 milliamperes per hour. There's a battery case, a KBP5. We've looked at some of the chargers. Well, we've looked at one of the chargers, which is a KSC25LS. Those are rapid chargers, they're lithium-ion only and Tricam. KSC256 is a multiple charger which can support 6 separate radios. KMB30 are mounting brackets. We've got various antennas, various options. I'm not going to cover every one because there are really, to be honest, so many of them. We can also look at headphones, earphones and microphones. We've got the KMC45D, which is a super microphone for IP54 and 55 use. We've got the KMC45D speaker microphone that is IP54 and IP55 protected. There's a KEP1, which is an earphone kit, which is 3.5mm for KMC45D speaker microphones. Lots of other options, such as cases, other earpieces, and so on and so forth. And there's also general software applications, such as KPG 180AP, which is an OTAP manager, and CAS20, which is AVL and dispatch software. Mentioning the audio out, there are two audio outputs depending on which radio you choose. One of them is 500 milliwatts per 8 ohms with a 3% distortion internal speaker, and the other one's 1000 milliwatts or 1 watt for 8 ohms with 5% distortion on the internal speaker. The output is 5 watts, 4 watts and 1 watt, so that's all settable to your requirements. Remember that Long Range Systems has been selling Kenwood for many years. We employ Kenwood specialists at LRS to help you choose the right radio for your application in your company. It's a simple matter to just give us a call on 01782 53 7000 and ask for sales. The website is www.kenwoodradios.co.uk. It's not operated by Kenwood, it's operated by ourselves, Long Range Systems, so don't assume that you can get that confused. You can't. It's very clear on the website that Long Range Systems operates it. We're an authorised dealer and we've supplied many radios to the various sectors in the UK. Importantly, there is 1-year warranty on Kenwood products, and that's never proven to be much of a problem, and we're able to help you with any warranty issues that you might have with Kenwood products. So do remember, please do give our experts a call where we can help you. We look forward to seeing you soon.